Hey guys, what is up to you? This is the Code Guy. I'm here to help you and teach you guys to learn how to code. So, my main focus is Android development with Java. First, let me tell you what Java is. Java is a POO programming language. What does POO stand for, or OOP? Is an object-oriented programming language. What does this mean? This means that in Java you create classes, and then within those classes you create objects, and you just sort of manipulate the objects and get objects from different classes. You just define if the objects you can access them, like what classes can access them. First, my main choice as an IDE is Intell J from JetBrains. They have many IDEs, but for Java, this is my favorite one. It's used for Android development. Imagine you use Android Studio to program Android apps, but imagine if you just want to type your Java code in here and just like debug it. It's like simpler. You can use it. It has a JVM. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. And you can just then transition your code to Android Studio. So I'll click on download community. It's the only one we need. I'll just download it. Okay, so you just like open it up, you just press run. It might take 1 or 2 more minutes to download it and install it. If it's your first time installing it, you only need 1 space. I'm using my SSD to run it faster, so you just press next. Next, got JetBrains install. The install shouldn't take more than 5 minutes, but if it does, just wait a bit and it will go. Okay, so it's done. The download is done. It was very fast. So I'm gonna check this box, so it when I press finish it opens Intell J. So do not import any settings. I'm not gonna import any settings that I priorly have. Okay, it's gonna run. It's I'm gonna choose the Dracula because I prefer. So default plugins. I'm not gonna use any. Not gonna like disable or customize any of this. So let's one. Yeah, I'm not gonna need any of this just for this simple tutorial. Very simple, very intuitive. So we're not going to use Groovy or Kotlin, Java Virtual Machine, so we're just going to stick to Java. When you download the Intell J, it already downloads the Java Virtual Machine and the project SDK. SDK stands for Software Development Kit. If it shows a red icon right here, you just click on it and then download JDK. When you click download JDK, it's gonna you just click on download. I've already got it downloaded from previous projects, so I don't need to download it. Okay, I'll just press on next. This is for the command line app. We won't use it for now. Just type my first project. Okay, and then press enter. We're here. So we got my first project here. We got all of these things, and then you just get into this. You have no prior experience, and you just get so overwhelmed. So, a few things we gotta point out. Java, as I previously mentioned, is an object-oriented programming language, which means you have classes. You create classes for whatever you want, and then within those classes you make objects, and then you assign those objects things for them to do. This is pretty much what you're going to do. You're just going to create classes. Within those classes you create objects. You define who can access those objects and who can manipulate them and use them, and then so the first thing you're going to do is you download it Intell J, you build your first project. So I don't know if any of you have read a book or anything on Java or any programming language. So you're in Java, you just built your first class. We're going to start typing our first words and our first code blocks to make the computer do things. The public here means that anyone within the software can access the class. Then class means it's a class, and then the class has its name. So Java classes are written in Pascal case, which means that every first letter of every new word starts with a capital letter. So main starts with a capital M, and then activity starts with a capital A. It's just a rule that every programmer follows. So once you're getting started on building your Java class, the first thing you're gonna do is it's public, static, void, main, and then string args as in arguments. I'm gonna give you like a simple tutorial on this. Public, it's the same as in this. It means every class in the software can access this class. Then static means it's not gonna change. Then void means that it's not gonna return anything. If I don't have void, it's gonna give me an error. Char, the byte, short, int, long, then float and double. As in reference, we have arrays, classes, and interfaces. So I'm gonna start with the most basic. We're gonna print. This is a thing that every programmer does. The first thing he learns a new programming language, which is we're gonna type hello world. It's a funny thing we have. We just do it. So how do you do this? How do you do it? You just type system with a capital S dot out dot print ln, which stands for print line, parentheses, and then double quotes. So system.out.print.line, and then we're going to type hello world. To run to type the command, Java needs to know when the code block is over. And how do you tell Java that the code block is over? Type in a semicolon. So as you can see, I'll just move my cursor. You can see that I got an error there, which is going to tell me that semicolon is expected. So I just type in the semicolon. You need to add a configuration to run your software. So we'll just click on there, add a configuration. It's pretty simple. We wrote the arguments, the main arguments, and then we just wrote what we're going to print out. So it's pretty simple. You just click on the arrow, run app, or you just press Shift 10 on Windows. This is pretty much the same on Mac too. Okay, so this is it. Let's maybe get into something more complicated. Let's just say we want to, instead of printing hello worlds, we want to print like 3 things. Let's just say I want to print, I want to go to my friends and say, hey man, listen, I can print my name and yours and the other dudes too, without typing them all on the same line. So the way in Java and most programming language, the way we type in names or words, we use a string. So again, capital S, string, then we name the string, we name, this goes for everything, for a string, for an integer, for a char, for a boolean, a double, for a byte, for a short, yeah, for whatever you want. And then you just type in what kind of data you're storing. In this string, I'm going to call the string name1, which is going to be my name, equals to, and then double quotes, remember guys, for example, put Alex, semicolon, and then name1, source the value Alex, build 2 more. Same thing, string name2 equals to, let's say, John, semicolon again, and then the last one, string name3 equals to Thomas, for example, Thomas. We're not going to write Alex, then comma John, then comma Thomas. That would be counterintuitive. So how do we do it? You may be asking. Same thing, system.out.println. So system out print. So within the system out print, it doesn't necessarily need you to type in the double quotes and then type something, but it does need arguments, at least one argument. We're gonna start with the double quotes and just type we are and then colon. So what I like to do is I'll just keep a space between all of those because it helps me get organized. So I just put the semicolon, space, plus, then space, name1 plus space, name2 space plus space, name3, and it's done. It's going to print we are name1 plus name2 plus name3, which means we're going to print we are Alex, John, and Thomas. So let's just go ahead and print and just see what you get. We are Alex, John, Thomas. How do we add a comma or a space between those names, you may be asking? The same thing we did here with the plus. So let's just say we already got a space right there between we are and Alex, the name1. So we'll just go here, add another plus, double quotes, and then just add a space there, which is going to give us a space between Alex and John. But now if we want to be grammatically correct, we're going to add a comma. After the comma always comes a space, so comma and then space, plus and semicolon, sorry, okay, semicolon, double quotes, double quotes, and then ends. So it's going to print we are Alex, name2, John, and Thomas. A space here too, so it gives us a space right there. Let's see what we get. We are Alex, John, and Thomas. Well, let's get more into it. Let's see what else we can do here with Java. So for example, say that we want to output that my name is Alex and I'm 23. Instead of using a string, we're going to use an int, which stands for integer. So we'll just say int age equals to 23. So we'll just delete this. No need to erasing the whole line. Double quotes. My name is, then space, add name1 plus, add a space there, and I am, then space, age, space, years old. So can you guys guess what this is gonna output? My name is Alex and I'm 23 years old. Okay, so final for our first tutorial. Let's get started with arrays. So what's an array? An array is an object that stores multiple values. Let's just say we have 100 papers inside a bowl. In every one of those papers has a number. Let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 until 100. We do not want, or we do not have the time to be wasting on building 100 integers. We're not going to be going like int 1 equals to 1, int 2 equals to 2, 100 times. This is just going to be stupid. So what do we do? We're going to build an array. How do we build an array? Integer, that's the way we set values. Integer, we're just going to build an integer with this, which means we're going to set multiple values. Then we're going to name our integer, how we name everything. Let's just say int numbers equals to, right here, we're going to press new int, which means on this int, we're going to build a new integer, and the same thing, that stores 100 numbers. See my colon, of course. So yeah guys, that was pretty much it. It was a pretty simple tutorial on how to get started with Java. We just saw that Java uses classes, and then what we defined is an object. For example, int age is an object, strings are objects. So we went through classes, we went through objects, then we went through how to print values. When you get started here, I advise you to do practice. Practice takes to perfection. That's it guys. See you on the next